Just venting for a second. I am in Mechanicsburg, Virginia. I brought a load of paper, 44,000 pounds from Florence, South Carolina. Appointment time was 7 o'clock this morning. Got here last night. As soon as they opened up, went inside. The guy's like, hey, that load has been rejected. He said the load was rejected once they scheduled it, and they rejected it or they canceled it in. He doesn't know why it's here. So, been sitting here since last night, but really since 7 o'clock this morning, in contact with the broker, JB Hunt in this case, trying to figure out what's the next move. I had another load booked, picking up about 70 miles from here in Virginia, going to Houston, Texas. So I talked to that broker, let them know what's going on, but it looks like I'm gonna end up losing that load. You know, it's just really frustrating, like in this environment where it's a down market and you have to be very efficient, you know, with your time and your money. Not a good way to start the week off, you know, not a good way to start the week off when you're trying to stack loads and trying to, you know, meet a certain minimum daily revenue every day. So we'll see what happens, but it's not looking good. I mean, I don't even know what happens in this scenario. I've, you know, been emailing them, calling them, and I just keep getting the same runaround. They're working on it. I mean, what are they actually working on? I don't want to actually go back inside because I don't want to risk them kicking me off the property. I don't want to move the truck until, you know, something is going to happen, so that way I have a fresh clock. But how does that even happen, man? Like, you know, I mean, I know it happens all the time, but damn, this is my initial time it's happened to me, where load was rejected once I got to the actual receiver. It's not like the load is wet or damaged or anything like that. It's just the guy simply said it was never supposed to come in the first place. Anyways, I'll keep you guys updated. So the load that they rejected yesterday, they're taking today. So hopefully they'll hurry up and go ahead and get me unloaded, and I can haul ass to my next pickup, which is, I was supposed to pick up yesterday, but they're letting me pick it up today. Time and money. I think they're comping me $250, but something is better than nothing, but it's not really anything. So, while I was down, sometimes you're out on the road as an operator, you know, you time management, and so my high beams weren't working. And for the last few days, I hadn't been able to figure out what was going on with them. I got some new headlights. They were working just fine, and then the plug had burnt out. I went and got another one, and I tried to put it on there, and I messed it up. I, you know, cut one off, put it on there, cut one off, but what happened was I did not crimp it tight enough, and it came loose. So at that point, I didn't know which was which. I got a little light tester, and I was trying to figure out which one was the high beam, which one was the low beam, which one was the ground wire, but it just was not working. So at one point, my low beams were working on both sides, but only the high beam on the driver's side was working. And at one point, it would flip-flop. So I'd have high beams on one side, low beams on the other side, or low beams on one side and high beams on the other side. So finally last night, I said, all right, let me try to figure it out again. And I played with it for a few minutes. After a few minutes of frustration, finally got everything working correctly, high beams and low beams. But yeah, so then the next thing, my instrument cluster, none of the lights are working now. So a few weeks ago, the fuel light went out. And so I was like, all right, probably needs a new light bulb. So went and got a new light bulb, took the panel apart, and it's a pain in the ass to take all this apart. You gotta take this off, you gotta take this off, you gotta take this off, this off, this. These are two different pieces. This isn't one piece, this is two different pieces. You gotta take this off, you gotta take this off. I mean, it's just a pain in the ass just to get to this instrument panel. Took it out, Tried to figure out why. Changed the light bulb. That didn't work. I ended up crushing. There's these little connectors, these little twist connectors that go in there, and I ended up crushing it when I was trying to get it out. So man set up, and then when I went to go put the instrument cluster back in, now the only lights are working where my speedometer, and I can see my RPMs just a little bit. So then fast forward this morning or last night, I said, you know, all right, let me try to do some troubleshooting. Check the fuses, everything, pulling the instrument panel apart again. Got light bulbs. I mean, check the light bulbs. Some of the light bulbs are burnt out, some of them weren't. So I tried to replace the ones that weren't or move them around. Went to go hook everything back up. Now none of my instrument panel lights work. So I don't know why Freightliner doesn't sell them as one piece, like, because when you try to take the light bulb out of the little, I guess the twist thing, it's pretty much, I don't say it's impossible, but it's damn near impossible. I haven't never figured it out. So I saw something on Amazon where it looks like they come together, where the light bulb and the little twist thing comes together. I'm gonna order some of those and attempt that. If that doesn't work, then I'm just gonna have to replace the instrument cluster, which I think I saw $400, $500, $600. So kind of pricey, and I'm not even 100% sure if that'll work. You know, that's the thing. Like, you know, replace stuff and you're not even sure if that's actually the issue. Like I said, I checked wires, I checked fuses. They seem to be good. I mean, my mechanical expertise on it goes so far. And you could take it to a mechanic, but by the time they get done troubleshooting and replacing parts, you could have just replaced it yourself for $300, $400, $500 or whatever. So anyways, life of a trucker, you know what I mean? But we're waiting to get unloaded, waiting for the green light. I'll catch up with you guys a little bit later.
Now keep right.
I wasn't going to share this story, but I thought about it and said, you know what? It might inspire someone. So you ever watch those YouTube videos where someone does a kind act for someone, or, you know, feeding the homeless, and of course they record it and post it and all that good stuff? Well, I used to watch those videos and it would kind of bother me. You know, it's like, if you're gonna do something for somebody, feed the homeless or do a kind act, why do you feel the need to record it and post it, you know, for all the clout and the views or likes or whatever? But recently I kind of had a change of heart, and, you know, my thinking is, well, you know, whether it's for clout, whether it's staged or not, if it inspires one person, you know, to do a kind act for someone else or feed the homeless or whatever, then, you know, so be it. So anyways, every year I always say that I'm gonna go to a homeless shelter, take my kids to a homeless shelter and let them, you know, feed the homeless, you know. And it usually, you know, around Christmas and Thanksgiving, when everybody gets the same idea. Unfortunately, everybody gets the same idea, and so the places are usually full and booked and you can't get in. Well, I already know this, but someone brought to my attention, you don't have to wait until, you know, Christmas and New Year's, or Christmas and Thanksgiving. And so what this person would do is they would go and cook food and make sandwiches and little brown baggies, and actually, you know, go where they knew homeless were and actually give those bags to the homeless. And so, long story long, I was in, I want to say Pennsylvania, and I stopped for the night at a Walmart. One, because I needed to do some grocery shopping, and two, because I couldn't find anywhere to park. So when I got there, it was, you know, probably, I don't know, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, and I noticed that there was a homeless guy. He was kind of like halfway on the curb, halfway off the street, you know, knocked out on the ground, just sleep. And I made a mental note. It's like, you know what, make sure I do not run that guy over in the morning when I leave. So the next morning I get up, I go inside Walmart, do some grocery shopping. I come out, I've got my shopping cart, and I realize that that homeless guy is still there. And I thought about my friend and, you know, what they did or whatever, and it wasn't much, but in the moment I was like, you know what, I've got some canned goods here. let me give him some, you know. So I got some of my canned goods and set it next to him while he was still sleeping, some water, and he never even realized it, you know. I didn't even bother him. And so went back to my truck, realized that during my pre-trip I had a clearance light out. So I started working on the clearance light, and I don't know, about 10 minutes later, another truck driver that was parked across the parking lot, he came over to the guy and kind of nudged him with his feet a little bit and woke him up, and actually proceeded to give him money out of his wallet. And I was like, wow, how about that, you know? And so then he went back to his truck and grabbed one of his mattresses and brought the mattress back so that way the guy would have something to sleep on. And I was like, wow, how about that? And so you know, he came over to me and started talking to me, started speaking Spanish. I don't know why people assume that I speak Spanish. I do a little bit, so, but, you know, we were wrapping it up, you know, and he was, you know, all telling me about his story. And he said, you know what, man, like, I saw you, you know, put that food down next to him, and it kind of inspired me to come over and help out also. And I was like, man, how about that? You know, like, when you do something and inspire somebody else. So I thought that was really cool. And then as he was talking, you know, he was telling me, he said, you know what, man, like, that was me once upon a time, you know, before I got into trucking, I was actually homeless, you know. And a lot of times we think about homeless people, you know, sometimes people get the misconception that maybe they're all on drugs or alcoholics or something like that, but that's not always the case. Sometimes, you know, you just fall on bad times. And I mean, most people in the world are 1 or 2 paychecks from being homeless themselves, you know. So, you know, when he told me that story, I was just like, oh man, that's freaking deep, you know. So so yeah, so I just thought I'd share that with you guys. You know, hopefully it inspires somebody to do something nice for someone, or feed the homeless, or whatever. But you know, someone else, like, no matter how hard you think you have it, there's always somebody to your left or to your right that has it even harder, you know. So anyways, thank you guys for watching the video. If you liked it, please consider subscribing. Go ahead and hit that like button for me, and leave a comment. You know, maybe you're in a situation where you were able to, you know, help somebody out on the road. On the road here, we see a lot of things. So anyways, you guys know the deal. Hard times don't last, hard truckers do. It's not about how much you make, it's about how much you keep. And last, but definitely not least, stay smooth, my friends.